World billionaires agree. The global economy is struggling to recover.
This really is an economic Pearl Harbor. That sounds melodramatic, but I've never used that phrase before, and this really is one.
Entire countries have defaulted.
I know people who are sure, in their own minds anyway, that the UK will default. I know people who insist that the US will be defaulting within the next 5 years.
Investors and consumers have lost faith in the US dollar and other mainstay currencies.
And the dollar is a very weak currency except for all the others. So there is a general sort of lack of confidence in currencies and a move away from currencies into real assets.
A new world order and new economic powers are emerging.
And I think there's a massive shifting of wealth, you know, between America, Europe, to the emerging market.
So what are these billionaires doing with their billions?
Let's say it's a decade more to go. By the end of the decade, everybody will own gold.
They've bought gold and are positioning for $5,000 an ounce. Here's why. Gold prices are already at record levels, as a sustained lack of consumer confidence pushes investors to commodities, gold in particular. US dollar and other mainstay currencies are still in decline. Demand continues to surge in the emerging economic powers of China and India. And most importantly, supply of mined gold is diminishing. The price of gold is expected to continue rising over the next several years, as the gap between supply and demand continues to widen. Central bank supply and scrap gold sales are no longer able to sustain the shortfall. So how will this surging demand be met? Exactly where will the gold come from? Contained in the southwestern region of the United States is a geological hotbed of precious metals, known as the Golden Triangle. This region has produced more than 50 million ounces of gold and 400 million ounces of silver, worth about $80 billion. Nowhere is the gold more concentrated than right here, the world-famous Walker Lane Gold Belt. Hundreds of gold mines, silver mines, and base metals discoveries have been found here over the last 2 centuries. The Walker Lane Gold Belt has an amazing history of major gold discoveries. The Comstock Lode was the first major deposit discovered in 1859. It produced over $1 billion of ore and created several millionaires. But what's more interesting than the gold deposits that have already been found are the ones that still lie buried under the sands of the region. The US Geological Survey estimates about 40% of the United States precious metals deposits remain undiscovered, easily worth well over $1 trillion. With the price of gold at record levels, a rejuvenated gold rush has emerged in the Walker Lane Gold Belt. In recent years, many vast fortunes have been made here by men with the foresight to invest in companies exploring for gold before they started drilling. With stunning profits like these, it didn't take long for the smart money to begin piling into the sector, including well-known billionaires. This elite group has put money into gold ETFs, minor gold ETFs, and companies like Anglo Gold Ashanti, Newmont Mines, Barrick, Nova Gold, Ventana Gold, and Yamana Gold. So what do these billionaires know that the average investor doesn't? The best place to hunt for elephants is in elephant country. We visited the Arizona Department of Mines and Mineral Resources and talked to Niall Nemeth, a geologist with more than 30 years' experience in base and precious metals exploration. We asked Niall which areas look most promising.
La Paz and Mojave County are probably the 2 best areas of the state to have our next gold discovery made. It's favorable land, it's favorable geology.
La Paz County, western Arizona, one of the most inhospitable environments on Earth, yet oddly, one of the most favorable areas one could imagine for a gold mine. Could this be nature's gold vault? At least one small company thinks so. We caught up with Tufnell Exploration CEO George Dorey to find out why he thinks his company could be on the verge of a major gold discovery.
At Tufnell Exploration, our core focus is on something we call smart gold. By this I mean the company will only be engaged in gold exploration and development when gold is at the right price, with strong demand, and with the right resources. Tufnell Exploration specifically sought out this ideal location because there is a strong history of mining with proven mineralization on this site.
There have been several mining efforts in this region since the late 1890s. Since then, many companies have engaged in exploration activity in the region. In the early 1980s, Tenneco drilled in the area. Then US borax moved in shortly after. The most significant exploration occurred between 1988 and 1991, when Homestake Mines drilled at the property.
Based on historical data and on expert geological guidance, we believe this property has potential to host 1 million ounces of gold.
1 million ounces of gold, at today's prices, is roughly $1.4 billion. A million-ounce discovery would, without question, send the share price of the company through the roof.
We know there's gold here. The only question is how much.
They're in a good area, there's mineralization there. We always like to be in elephant country, and so across 20 miles, we've certainly had, in Arizona's perspective, we've had a pretty good sized elephant found. Is there another elephant lurking right there? Let's hope so.
It seems Tufnell Exploration might be onto something. According to maps we obtained from the Arizona Department of Mines, Tufnell has assembled a significant land package over a major geophysical anomaly. In fact, Tufnell has identified and acquired the mining rights to 78 claims at the northern tip of the Plomosa mountain range, covering approximately 1,500 acres or 2.3 square miles. In practice, the average gold mine is usually found in areas less than a few acres in diameter. Tufnell Exploration is well into its Phase 2 exploration program.
The objective of this phase is to validate and quantify the expanse of the known resource identified previously.
Tufnell is in the catalyst stage of exploration and is quickly advancing to the next phase of its exploration program at its Little Butte gold-copper project.
When we find a major discovery, our intent is to enter in a joint venture or an outright divestiture of the deposit to a major gold producer.
Could Tufnell be taken over by a major producer like Newmont or Barrick? In 2010, the top gold producers went on a buying spree and gobbled up more than $150 billion worth of junior gold companies like Tufnell, in what could be the hottest junior gold market in decades. The industry shows no sign of slowing down. Just look at the pace of growth in the junior miner ETF in 2010. The GDXJ is outperforming other gold ETFs and larger companies. When the rest of the investing public discovers this, they will rush into the sector in earnest, sending gold stocks ballistic. But the biggest gains will go to the investors who invest early in small exploration stocks, positioned to make a major discovery. Those with strong land packages located in the best regions. Once the drilling starts, the smart money moves in. Tufnell Exploration is drilling now and will continue with steady drilling reports. The company is positioning itself to be the next big winner in the world of gold stock fortunes. Should they succeed, there's no telling how high the stock could go.